Hi, I'm Carla Townsend, and I'm a money mindset and success coach for female entrepreneurs. So, I'm a big believer that money amplifies your authentic self and who you were born to be. I believe that it amplifies the person that you already are within, your fullest expression of you. The more that you have, the more wealthy and abundant that you are, the more that you can actually reach your full potential and live a life without regrets. And to create that impact and that legacy that I know you desire to. It's my mission to support purpose driven women like you to understand how simple money truly can be and take it off that pedestal once and for all so that you can be, do, and have it all, whatever your version of success may be. But basically, at the end of the day, I just don't want you to have any regrets for the life that you lived. I want you to be able to understand how to attract more abundance with ease and truly live out your potential and build that legacy and that impact that I know you desire to. Because the world needs more kind-hearted women like you. So before we dive into this archetype, I want to give you a quick refresher as to what is a money archetype to begin with, because I have helped hundreds upon hundreds of women to understand what their archetypes are and how to use it to their advantage. So your archetype, aka your money personality, which is the way I like to look at it, it highlights your strengths, your gifts, and your challenges. It is an opportunity to get to know yourself on just a deeper level and really understand to your core why you consciously or unconsciously act, think, and behave the way that you do when it comes to money or money-related activities. So when you enhance your strengths and you learn to build your business in a way that is in line with your archetype, and also know how to attract and sell to your clients' archetypes, that's when life gets a whole lot easier. And that's when you actually learn the true meaning of what it means to earn in abundant overflow. So let's dive in.
Now let's dive into the accumulator archetype. Now, the accumulator is also known as the inner banker. Now, you and I have a lot in common because the accumulator is also my number one archetype. So I feel you. I get your strengths. I also get your challenges. So let's dive in. So the accumulator is you if you're someone who tends to judge others for their spending habits, their saving habits, their investing habits, their splurging habits. You tend to judge others' money habits just in general, depending on whether or not it aligns or doesn't align with the way that you would naturally spend or save or invest money. Now, money makes you feel joy and love and happiness and safety and security because the more money that you have, the more cash that you stack, the more secure and confident that you feel, and the more that you can be strategic around the investment decisions that you're making, especially when it comes to in your business. Now, you do, however, often feel pretty anxious, worried, or even guilty when it comes to certain spending that you have to do, certain investments, certain decisions. So you might actually just feel analysis paralysis when it comes to actually having to pull out your card and pay for something when you're not sure if it's actually going to pay off. You're likely really to be someone who's a bit more frugal in that sense because you do overthink, you do procrastinate, and you really only like to buy things that are a necessity and that are essential. So for you, you feel safer when you're actually investing when you already have the money and you can see the tangible outcomes that you're going to get from that investment or the return on investment you're going to get, the ROI. So knowing how to live below your means is a strength in and of itself. You're naturally really good at that. I think it's crucial for anybody, regardless of your archetype, to really understand what's coming in and what's going out. And also as a business owner, as a CEO, you need to know your numbers. You need to be aware of your numbers. So please, 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 for the love of God, know your numbers. And yes, of course, I will support you with that. However, I know that you as an accumulator are pretty good at that. And when you don't actually make decisions that are within your means and it is sort of overextending you and you feel yourself dipping into that scarcity and lack, I know that you also will learn to maybe not do that again, or maybe have a bit more runway when it comes to making decisions like that so that you do have the money. So just remember that, yes, you're fantastic at living below your means, but sometimes in business, you do need to actually make the investment before the funds are actually there because you're investing in your next self. Obviously recommend that you just get real good guidance on that when it comes to your business and build your business in alignment with your strengths, which is something that I love to do, but also as a way that's going to support you in your financial freedom that it is that I know that you're driving towards. So you rarely, if ever, really carry debt. Debt is not something you love unless it is good debt, okay? I know that you and I both know the difference between good debt and consumer debt. So that is something that you don't love. Consumer debt is like this energetic weight on your shoulders and you don't love it and you find it a challenge to get rid of that and stay out of it for good, which is amazing. And I applaud you for that because sometimes life will life, but at the end of the day, debt, we can also reframe as a way to see that this is just a way to pay something off over time. And of course, there are smart ways to be able to do that. There are different tactics to be able to pay down debt, but you're pretty good at that. Now, you're also very driven to save. Saving, stacking the cash, that is just something that you naturally do on autopilot. Chances are you've probably got your own systems how to do that. So it's pretty hands off and automated, which is what I love to do. But I also know that this saving, this desire to save constantly can actually sometimes be linked to your fear of having to be dependent on someone else and losing your freedom and your personal power. And maybe you're also like me in the sense that even when I become a mother, I still found that I needed to be able to provide for my family. I still needed to have money coming in. Obviously, I was on maternity leave 3 times, but after that, I was very career driven to make something of myself. Maybe I'm a workaholic. Maybe that work ethics drilled into me from my upbringing. I also think it's got a lot to do with the archetype. So if you feel like that and you feel like no matter what, for some reason, you always got to provide or be putting into your family unit or whatever it might be, just know that that can be a very, very great strength of yours because you're very innovative and you will find a way. So a beautiful mantra for you to use and to really trust your intuition is to say yes to the opportunities because opportunities create wealth. Now, these opportunities are typically come in the way of like collaborations or you just have this intuitive knowing that this is the right path. I urge you, again, no matter what archetype you are, but especially for you accumulators, to really lean in to your intuition to make decisions. Follow those breadcrumbs because those breadcrumbs can lead to so much abundance that you will never even see coming. And it can be so magical. So to wrap up an accumulator, you are pretty much a match made in heaven when it comes to money because you love saving, you love investing, you love living within your means. You pretty much operate from a state of overflow always. And when you don't, you know how it feels in your body and you never want to get into that space again. You will do what you need to do to get out of that and stay out of that. Although there is this dance between also worrying about spending money on yourself, even if it's like the tiniest of amounts you really don't love to spend, especially when it's on things that are not essential in your eyes. Now, here is my tip to you. Have money that is purely spending money. It is guilt-free money that you get to spend every time you get paid or you pay yourself that is not going to impact your goals, your financial goals. Money's also there to be enjoyed, so don't forget to enjoy it. And just have a limit on what it is that you are happy to each week or every time you pay yourself that you can spend on whatever it is you want. Going to the movies, going out for lunch, buying a coffee, buying a new pair of shoes, whatever it is, it's guilt-free. Money is also there to be enjoyed. And I swear it does not, if anything, it actually adds to your financial freedom. It does not take away from your goals, from your savings goals, from your investment goals. It actually, if anything, keeps it reined in because when you don't spend on yourself for a long period of time, you might all of a sudden go on a spending spree, especially if you do have the archetypes in your top 3, like the maverick or maybe a romantic or celebrity in there. They need to spend and they love to make themselves feel good through spending money. So the accumulator can only keep it reined in for a certain amount of time until those archetypes will flare up and say, come on. And then that's when you splurge. And then that's potentially when you get into consumer debt that you don't necessarily want to get into. So I think it's a great rule of thumb for every archetype, but especially you, just have that money set aside. So it is guilt-free spending all the time. So you are actually finding the enjoyment and pleasure that comes with money. And it's not always about having to chase that savings goal because at the end of the day, you're always going to feel like there's never enough the more that you chase it. I want you to really practice to feel like there is more than enough so that you can reduce that stress and that attachment to the money that you have, especially if it's in your savings. As long as you are spending in alignment with the things that you truly value, then it's not going to have that guilty feeling, that regret, or anything like that. So I just want you to trust that money is an unlimited resource and you will always find a way. You are very innovative. You will always find a way to be able to get that money back, to earn more, to reduce costs, whatever it is that you need to do, you will be able to do it because you are already really good at managing your money. That's just something you're great at. However, I really want you to challenge yourself to apply your energy to being able to create more wealth, create more income opportunities because you're great when it comes in, you can manage it and you know everything's coming and everything's paid for and like the debt's reducing or you're not getting in debt as it is. However, the actual creation of money is the thing where you procrastinate a lot about. So lean into that and trust yourself to follow those opportunities and those intuitive nudges for opportunities for you to actually make more money and to serve the people that you're here to serve. Lastly, I really want to touch on some of your challenges that I think are crucial for you to actually explore a little bit further and why you maybe do these behaviors and where they're coming from. Because honestly, awareness is so key to be able to uncover what it is that is the deep rooted belief or fear or doubt that is actually making you operate from that place and continue to make those decisions. So there is secrecy that can come up from time to time, a lack of trust with others, especially when it comes to your own money, even generosity and not being that generous, whereas you'd like to, but it's kind of hard because you feel that guilt or that anxious feeling around actually spending the money. Then there's also that obsessiveness on the dollars and the financials dropping, as well as feeling guilt or doubt when you're actually making an investment and you're trying to level up as well. And that can be really challenging, especially in entrepreneurship, because it's this continual game of having to up level. You know, every time you get to your edge, you're going to up level into the next version of you, the one that is closer to the woman that you desire to become. But sometimes there is those fears around having to invest before the funds are there and having to make strategic decisions and having to really back yourself. And that's why this work is so important, because actually going into building the confidence and the self-belief and the self-trust within you and challenging yourself to be able to create the income, create more, not just enough, because that can sometimes be a little bit of a trap or a little bit of a box that you're caught in. Like you'll always earn just enough. You will always have just enough. Whatever it is that you want to do, you know you're always going to have that money no matter what, you'll find a way. But I want you to be able to challenge yourself to learning how to actually overcome that and earn more than enough. Experience what it's like to have more money than you know what to do with. Like go to the shops and buy whatever it is you want to buy guilt-free and knowing that it's not going to impact your financial independence and your financial goals. That's what I want for you.
So, if you're ready to become a clear channel to receive all of the abundance and wealth that you've been desiring to create for yourself in your life and in your business, I have created a resource just for you, the Accumulator Pathway to Effortless Wealth. You can find the details below or just go to moneymindset.hub.com/accumulator. And I'll see you on the inside.